because he's the most interesting human on earth.
Yes.
He was landing a helicopter onto a boat in the middle of the ocean, I do believe, about 3 months ago. He's flying in a fighter jet a couple months ago. He was flying a trick plane a couple months ago. He was living in a sailboat because he was planning on sailing the son of a bitch around the world.
Solo.
Now he's catching footballs for the New Orleans Saints again. Has to be easy. Seems to be with all the highlights coming out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, he's taller than you, smarter than you. He's an incredible football player, and his brain seems to be absurd. Ladies and gentlemen, friend of the program, most interesting man on earth, Jimmy Graham.
What's up, guys? How you doing, man?
Hey, great.
How you guys been?
Great. Need you to head starboard there to get back in the frame. So let's talk about this, Jimmy, because you know, you came on the program when AJ was hosting and I was at home with the baby and I was watching along. And as AJ tells stories about you and Aaron tells story about you and I kind of follow along with what you're doing, he's getting like 150 views while flying planes in this absurd fashion. And I don't think anybody knows about, like, to the extent of the talent that you have in all these other, like, extreme things. Landing a helicopter on a boat, flying trick planes. What made you decide you were coming back to football? Because I remember you said, I haven't officially retired. When was it like, I am coming back? And has it been like riding a plane or a helicopter for you to just get back into football shape and play football again?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a very interesting couple of weeks for sure. You know, from all the things that I've done over the last year, and you know, all the time I spent on learning, and trying to chase goals that I've had for myself. One of the biggest goals was always, you know, obviously winning a ring and obviously ending things here in New Orleans. So that was one of the things that, and one of the reasons I didn't play last year. I didn't want to put on another jersey. You know, I remember talking to Mickey and basically being, if there's ever an opportunity where you think I could help, let me know and I'll be there. If not, then I'm going to retire. And so I sit here right now in New Orleans, happier than I've ever been, healthier than I've ever been, and truly just excited for the opportunity. You know, this team has got so much talent, man, and to really see it up close has been amazing, man.
I love hearing Mickey. You still 6'14" or whatever? Can you still run and catch a football? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got time and space for you. Go ahead, AJ.
Jimmy, when did all of this, like, when did it become a reality to you that, hey, yeah, I'm going to go back and play football? Is this months ago? Is this weeks ago? And also, how has your body held up after those first couple of days of pads?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I always knew in the back of my mind that there could be a possibility that, you know, I would get the call. But really, it was about 2 weeks before I showed up to do my workout is really when I got the call and really when I started transitioning most of my regimen to more football. You know, I mean, for the last year, I've been, you know, cycling all over the place and making sure that I kept my cardio up and obviously lifting a bit. But, you know, as far as football specific, you know, it had only been a couple weeks before I showed up and you know, things have been awesome. You know, obviously the body's got to get used to the heat and, you know, has to get used to the load. But, you know, it's been amazing to put this jersey on, you know, to put the pads on and really get that contact back, which is something that you don't really get in the normal life and truly something that I've missed.
Okay, so I don't want to, you know, ever say something that you find offensive. So, no offense.
Yep.
Okay, we got a deal?
Yeah. Yeah, no offense.
You fly fighter jets and shit, so I don't want to piss you off. Okay, I just would like.
It's all good, man.
I would like that to be known. But when I asked Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football, okay, beat writer down there, I said my question was phrased in a manner where I was like, "Is Jimmy gonna make the team? And what do you think Jimmy is gonna do?" He said like 15. Right? 15 20. 15, 20 plays. That seems like a pretty good load, you know, for a man that was out of football and for how many years you've kind of played and where you're at right now with your life and everything else you've been able to do. What are you expecting from this year as a New Orleans Saint? And did I just offend you by even asking that question?
No, not at all. You know, I mean, I think, you know, I've always played with a pretty big chip on my shoulder, and kind of one of the best things that ever happened to me was this past year. You know, I mean, I really had the opportunity to let my body and really let my knee fully get its strength back. You know, it's something that since I hurt that thing, I was always just on the back end of another season and continued that grind for what is 7-8 years. You know, to spend a year the way I did and to get a little bit of latitude and the realization of how much you do miss this game, but really the ability to also sit on a bike for thousands of miles over that year and a half.
And then get run over by a car.
Yep.
Yeah. And then to get hit by a car. That's when I really knew that I still had it. Like whenever I got hit by the SUV and kind of ate it, I said, maybe I can take a little bit more contact. And that's really everything that's happened, and the ability for me to stay in shape while being gone from football. I really got to attest to the bike. Honestly, that's one of the best things I'd ever done in my life. It is one of the things I wish that I had gotten a hold of maybe a decade ago and stopped being such a meathead and did a little bit less power cleaning, a little bit more biking for just really my full system and my heart and my cardiovascular. My cardiovascular, I feel like, is the best it's ever been. And, so I'm also excited to test this out and to see, to be able to feel like I feel after a year of doing what I did for my body. I'm looking for the opportunity to test out this theory.
The Peloton craze was real because of how in shape everybody was getting. And then you see like Conor McGregor still tweeting words that,
Of course.
everybody's kind of stopped saying for a while.
Come on,
but
Conor.
his whole entire cardio is bike, I think. He's like a big time bike guy. And I'm not saying he has the greatest, but a lot of in the combat world do the biking and everything like that. Yeah. I thought that would be bad for your knee. Not bad for your knee. That's good rehab for the knee.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's been the best rehab I've ever done. I mean, not only that, the
How about a
ability
year?
to. Yeah, no. I mean, to sit on a bike and do 100 miles in a day, to sit on a bike and also realize your max heart rate, to realize your FTP. These are things that I never really, that isn't really a part of football. I didn't know that my max heart rate was 201. Now I know exactly what my max heart rate is. I know exactly what my resting heart rate is, and I know exactly, when, how I can sustain a 5-hour pedal, at
201 beats?
Yeah.
So
I got a weird heart.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you got a good heart. Everybody needs to check their hearts now after everything that's been happening, seemingly. But over 130, that's when like you're burning, right? Allegedly, that's what I've been kind of taught. And then I think anytime I'm dying on like the Stairmaster or the thing, I'll put my hands on there. And it'll be like 160. I'm like 160,
moving,
and it'll get up to like 170. I'm like, oh, I'm dead.
Gotta get off.
I'm gonna die.
Slow down.
You're at 201 just on a regular basis.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's at max. Like, that's when I'm like kind of competing versus somebody, and somebody's trying to race me up, some big hill. But really,
You're not willing to die. I'm willing to get.
No,
I'm willing to go 201 right here.
I mean, if you're trying to win and you're trying to, I mean, there's such an ultimate competitiveness to cycling. That's what's unbelievable. Was it kept that edge because you're pushing your body to the absolute limit where you believe that you're going to collapse and literally pass out on the bike. I've been to that moment in those dark spaces a few times on the bike, but really like when I'm pulling for a Peloton and I'm putting in work, I mean, I'll sustain, 160 beats per minute for 4 hours, and that's, so to be able to do that and to transition that into football, I mean, it's been truly interesting to see, how it helps you. Really?
Yeah, I'd say 4 hours at fucking max heart rate. Yeah, that's a football game.
My God.
You guys taking halftime? Don't need it. I'm gonna need a stair step or something to keep this thing going so I can really stay warm. So you're in the best shape of your life. That's awesome to hear. Congrats to you. We're lucky you're back in the NFL. Go ahead, AJ.
Jimmy, did you? I heard you did fly yourself to camp on a plane. I'm guessing. Did you bring the Huey? Like, can people in New Orleans maybe on an off day expect to see the big old Huey flying around the city there?
What's a Huey?
Helicopter.
Well, so a Huey is it's a single engine turbine helicopter, the one that I have. It fought in Vietnam, and we restored it, back than it's ever been, and now we give flights to veterans.
How much did that cost, Jimmy? Did that cost like $20 million? It feels like it did. You showed me the pictures of all the process, and I was like, whoa, this was not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap. If you think about it, it was a full restoration, all brand new components. This thing will fly for the next 20 years, but really to rebuild it wasn't expensive. What it is to run it is pretty expensive. It burns 100 gallons of fuel per hour. So everything that I do charity-wise.
Jamie, why don't you get an electric helicopter?
Yeah.
I got an electric vehicle. I'm saving the world. You guys are out here. I didn't know this
No wonder
was
why it's so
happening.
hot down in Florida.
Oh, my God. That hot training camp. You know why? Because of you.
That Huey.
That's what they're saying. I'm just telling you. just telling you what people are saying. We need to ground them
Oh
all.
man.
We just got Kyle's not farting anymore, right?
No. Took the
They're
method.
putting bags.
Yep.
The thing about this is like batteries can't do that yet. I mean, there's
My car. I
how
was.
Super.
how much those batteries would weigh would take up all your useful load in the helicopter. And then obviously the temperature change. Not only there's just too much going on. That's why it hasn't hit aviation like it should. Like they were looking into do this for. I mean, there's variants that can help, but right now a fully electric plane is it's just very difficult to do because it doesn't have that type of capacity to carry passengers and to run for that long.
I assume you know this because you were probably there whenever they discovered this in South Korea, but
Brand new superconductor being introduced into the world. Apparently, it's going to change the game, especially in electricity.
that's what we're being
Really?
told. New superconductor.
Really?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna charge up my electric vehicle in about
right.
five minutes or so, all the way back to
Whoa.
100. And maybe save aviation, it sounds like.
Possibly.
That'd be a cool thing. I have no idea what else it'll be able to do. I'm sure we'll
They-
benefit from it greatly, and AI will take
It will-
over and we'll lose.
It'll probably save aviation, and I need some bigger batteries for the sailboat. So I could definitely use some of that.
For sure.
Oh, yeah, because whenever you're out there in the middle of the Atlantic all by yourself, wouldn't be bad to be able to fry up a little burger.
That's right. That's
I
right.
mean, fry up a burger out there, be able to live a little bit like a human. So what's the plan here? You're playing 1 more year, 2 more years? I don't want to do too much of that. You're probably living in the moment. All that good stuff. But you still have a lot of other goals, I assume, in the real world. But your body's still able to be in the NFL. Are you planning on just kind of riding this out, see how long it goes, or do you have an end in sight?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a small team of people that have been around me for a long time, and from business to aviation to sailing, we really had to take a look at things over the last basically few weeks and make sure I can put that all to the side. I'm 100% focused on what I'm doing now and being as good as I can be and challenging myself and really working on my room. I have an incredible room here in New Orleans. We have a dynamic offense, a dynamic team with a lot of good players. This team is from the outside looking in, obviously everybody knows how much talent it is, but once you come in here and you realize how competitive this team is, how intense our competition right now is with this 90-man roster, it's unbelievable. And I'm just blessed to be here. So my true focus is really on that. My true focus is on helping my room out, spreading my knowledge to Juwan, to, Big Foff, to Lucas. These are the things that I'm really looking forward to, is really to be back in that brotherhood. That's one of the things that I miss the most. That's one of the things that I got with AJ back at the Derby was, the feeling of that locker room again, the feelingness of that camaraderie that we have as men. That's something that you don't really get in the world outside of these walls. So that's one of the biggest reasons that I came back. And, so I'm just living in the moment, blessed to be back in the city, back in this jersey, back in my number. And, I can't wait to score again. That's going to be incredible.
Dunk it, take the penalty.
Hell yeah.
Kicker's going to have to make it. Listen, need you to make a 48-yard extra point. All right? Jimmy Graham's back. This is just how it goes. In the locker room, that vibe, if we didn't have this building, I don't know what I would do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, man.
it's tough. Obviously a lot of shit being talked, but like it's an incredible thing that I think is what people normally miss before they miss anything else. It's like, I miss the camaraderie, but you're also a guy who's signing up to sit in a sailboat all by yourself. So
Yeah.
seems like you can figure it all out, and we're very thankful for it. Speaking of figuring things out, Derek Carr, now with the Saints. Huge signing, obviously. This is a massive ordeal. This is a whole new team. It's your program now. Derek, jaded about how it all ended at the Raiders, won a lot of games, had some games where, is Derek Carr ever going to be the guy before he ended up breaking his leg on Christmas Eve, which was, he was on his way to win an MVP that year.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yep.
What are your thoughts on Derek Carr down there? And obviously he and Darren Waller had an incredible relationship on the football field. Have you noticed any carryover with his comfort with the tight end down there?
Yeah, he's a true pro. Really that and him coupled on this offense. I mean, I know what this offense can do. I've been in the system before and I understand how dynamic this system can be. And I think he's perfect for this system. I think his work ethic and his hunger and the way he operates in the huddle, man, it's just unbelievable to see. And I'm looking forward to, really getting some live action with him. Seeing how, he continues to, make this offense also his. He's the type of guy where, you want to just let him loose and give him some options so he can check to the right play. He's got a photographic memory. I mean, the things that he can remember, how he remembers them, and he demands so much from himself. I think that's one of the cooler things that he's gotten experience here is, how competitive we are in every practice, and to also see how competitive he is. He doesn't like to see the ball on the ground. His attention to detail is very similar to the things that I saw in Drew Brees. His ability to command this offense, to get us to the right check, because this playbook is no joke. This is the biggest playbook I've ever been a part of. It is wordy, super wordy plays. You have to understand that there's multiple checks in every play. You have to understand how to pick up these protections. And I really think that he's the leader that this city needs, and we're really looking forward to it, because obviously on all sides of the ball we have a talented group, man.
Yeah, and the NFC South, NFC South too, Jimmy. Seems
yeah, yeah. And so that's goals. Like everybody can look in the far future, but for us, it's about the NFC South. It's about owning the NFC South and really going there and battling against these teams, and making sure that we're prepared come week one.
All right, I can't wait to watch. Pac-Man has a question for you, Jimmy.
What's up, Jimmy? I know you said you're in the best shape you in. I know I sat out a year and I was in the best shape, but timing. Sometimes it takes times to get the rhythm back, the speed of the
100%.
game. My question to you is, how close are you being back to the regular timing that you're normally at and the speed of the game?
Yeah, I think for me, it's definitely I can see myself just getting better each and every week. As it's been 2 weeks, each week, I can feel my legs up underneath me. I can feel that I'm coming in and out of the routes. I can feel that I'm connecting. Now, and also this offense has changed a little bit. So I have to. It's evolved with words that weren't here before when I was here. So just making sure that I get all aspects of that, and then I get all aspects of timing. But it's I got to experience this before, because the year I got traded to Seattle when I hurt my knee, that offseason, I wasn't in pads until the day of the game. I literally didn't do any training camp, any offseason. I did nothing. I basically showed up week one and was in an NFL game with a knee at the time that wasn't even fully healed. So, to now kind of repeat that, but now I get this whole full training camp to really, knock off the rust, to really get these calluses on my body, and then to figure out that timing, especially with Carr. I think that this is perfect for me. That's one of the reasons I'm here, sweating my ass off in this heat, is to get back to that timing and get back to, who I know I can be.
You a cold tub guy? You do the cold tub?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Every day, have to.
Even when you're not in football?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. I think that's, for me, that's always been a big part of my regime. It's always been something I've been involved with, and you kind of have to do that for recovery, especially on the bike. I was biking thousands of miles a year. That's something that, you can't let go of.
So I'm trying to tell AJ this, because AJ refuses to get in the cold tub. We got one here now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I got one in my house. Me and Wim Hof are doing really ice work. I've heard it's really good for you. Like, not just recovery, but like mental as well. Every day, like having to do something you don't want to do mentally.
Yes.
Like very good.
Stressing the body. Stressing the body matters. For me, I've been stressing my body. If it's not, obviously on the bike with the cardio, if it's not in the cold tub, it's pushing my body through G's, and going up and pulling 10 G's. That stuff.
I watched Mission Impossible 6 times.
Yeah.
I pulled 9, 10 G's.
Top Gun?
Just to start Top Gun as well. Mm-hmm. Top Gun, I watched that thing 6 times. Mm-hmm. I'm pulling G's to start that 10 of them. 11.
Yeah.
How many did I pull?
10?
Yeah, but it might have been close to 13.
And then it blew up.
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
We ended up walking through the mountains or whatever.
Yep.
Just needed water.
Yep.
That's all.
That's right.
I was pulling G's. You're out there doing that shit. That's crazy, Jimmy.
For real.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Jimmy, you're
No. Well, I'm going to get everybody in here up there pulling G's with me. So AJ will probably be the first.
Yeah, that's a big 10 no from this one.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm big puking hard. I will puke
everywhere.
hard.
AJ was we were laying in Columbus on a plane, and AJ, who's former pilot, I assume you know that, he was in a magazine as a pilot, standing on the side, waving at people. Mm-hmm. I'm a pilot, call me the captain now. So he loves flying. We flew back to Columbus together because he came out to Indiana. There was a WWE event in Columbus. I was going to fly over, so it was like a perfect setup. I was going through it. I don't like flying, but I have a man next to me who signed up to be a pilot, loves flying. and he's sweating.
Yep.
Mouth is sweating.
Pale.
He's holding on to things like this. And as soon as we get on the ground, he's like, all right.
Sounds good.
Can't wait to do that again. He just loves it. He does. You love the punishment of what planes do, I think, to you, AJ. I'm not like that. The faster we can get on the ground, the better, in my eyes. And the smoother that flight can be, the better.
Please.
As soon as that thing starts moving, I'm like, we're dead.
Yep.
We're dying. Okay, cool. And then it said he's out. I'm like, all right, now it's just house money.
Yep,
okay,
exactly.
Because I thought I was dead 2 seconds ago. So, I only fly on those big ones too. I need an SUV up there. I don't need to be, you know what I mean?
Well, I've got an SUV of a helicopter, so you come up in the helicopter, man, and I can guarantee you'll love it. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Aaron's been up in it. You can ask him, man. It's an incredible.
We got to jump out. We got to jump out into the ocean, right, Jimmy? Can't we hang off the bottom, off the struts, and jump in?
Look at this one here, AJ, right?
Yeah.
Look at this one here.
That'll never. You won't see that.
What's that? We're doing a pencil.
Exactly.
Hold your nose, jumping off a Huey helicopter into the ocean.
Yeah, if you don't do that, a shark will get up there.
That's right.
Because,
You were doing it in Tahoe.
yeah, we did see you coming off the dock. Pencil.
Watch me.
Ticonderoga.
That sounds like me.
That's what you were doing.
Yeah.
That's how I woke up.
Yeah, exactly.
People
Every
wondering
morning.
why I golf like shit. You tell me. You look out there.
Every morning.
All-time leading tackler for the Packers doing a Ticonderoga #2 with a nose plug.
Plugging 'em.
It's hard to take it serious. It's a tough way to wake up.
Yeah.
Laughing.
Jeez Louise, dude. I would jump
You
off
ever black
a-
out? Jim, you ever have G-lock? Isn't that what they call it when you're actually piloting the airplane? I always thought that when I flew with the Thunderbirds and Blue Angels. I'm like, I'm back here puking and passing out. This guy's actually controlling the plane doing all of this.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've never had that. I've had a few friends, but really, like once you unload the G's, that all goes away. So you gray out, you tunnel out, and then you black out eventually. But that's nothing I've experienced. I mean, I've come like when I'm doing Lumshavat. So basically, it's basically where you're doing front flips. So you're basically rotating the plane around the crankshaft and the engine. You can get a bit of stars there, but that mostly is your brain hitting the top of your skull. So besides that, I've never really had anything too crazy.
So when you're doing this shit with this plane here, when you're flipping this thing, you're just hoping your brain doesn't hit off your skull while you're kind of. Is that what we're hoping for? Is this light work? What are you doing here? Loop-de-loos or whirly birds?
Yeah. So no. Those are snap rolls. It's a snap roll or a lumshava. Yeah, I think it's a snap roll.
Looks like
a
snap roll to me.
Those aren't too crazy. That one. Let's see. This is.
Yeah.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
That was actually the worst thing I've ever seen. We were actually on a plane that took off.
Jeez.
What's that, pal? I'm sorry?
Oh,
sorry. I'm just wondering, the first time you did like a flip or a roll when you were solo and didn't have anyone with you, what was that like? That'd be scary.
Yeah. That's what's so interesting about aviation. There's so many firsts. Like I have 10 licenses. So over those 10 licenses, you're going to do one of those for the first time. I remember the first time that I got up and I was alone and really got to feel, well, one, the plane feels completely different because you don't have 220 pounds of another mass.
Look at you. You're a psycho, dude. Look at you.
Man.
I don't know if that's gravity pulling your mouth open or you smiling for. Let me bounce back.
Jeez.
It's a video game, bro.
That's TC.
Basically, it is the most freedom you can have on a three-dimensional surface. It's that doing those things and really understanding how that operates. It's basically physics up there. Like you're doing things to unload the wings to get them not to fly, so you can manipulate them around the crankshaft and using P factor. And I mean, it's so very interesting. But then to go over and be able to physically be able to do that, and then to show people how to do that. I mean, I don't think there's anything better with your clothes on, for sure.
Good luck.
Hell yeah.
Third dimension.
I mean, yeah. Let's talk about third dimension because a good friend of yours, you said, man, it's been in a helicopter, and I would like to jump out of a helicopter into water.
That'd be cool.
Just one time, I'd like to do that, just to say I did.
Done.
So that's the only time I'm getting on your little chopper thing. Now,
Gotcha.
We took a chopper in New York. It was awesome. We went from Teterboro into the city. Normally 45 minutes to an hour, depending upon what the tunnel traffic is. Took us 6 minutes.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. I could see how you'd fall in love with the helicopter life, but for me, because you just said, well, we're taking a P crank and we're twisting around the yip-de-doo and everything, I don't know that, so when that thing starts doing a little of this, I'm like, yeah, we're dead. We are dead. We are dead. So I just can't, maybe one day I'll learn enough to kind of get past it all. But like, when you think about everything you do off the field, okay, and then you get back on the field, is there, in a tone kind of wanted to chat about this, but it kind of showed up in conversation here. Like, are you any nerves or anxiety at all getting back into football? Like that first game, you know, you're flipping planes around, you're riding helicopters that are just burning an immense amount of gas.
So much.
I mean, just so much gas. You know, you're landing on spraying into the water.
Yep.
Oh my, just ruining obviously planet Earth. But as you're doing all, there's so much more on the line there. Football, now granted, there's been incredible injuries. Like, was there any anxiety getting back into football after all that stuff, or you have a brand new perspective after you've experienced like real serious, insane shit, pretty much? Like that dragon, are you chasing a dragon? Like the feelings in which you get when you play football, or whenever you're flipping a plane upside down, or stalling it out on purpose and things like that?
You know, I mean, I've always enjoyed pushing myself to the limit. You know, I mean, I've always enjoyed, you know, to see what my limits are and to kind of reach them. There's always a space. There's a space where you're in your comfort zone, and then there's a space where you're outside of your ability. And so above your comfort zone and outside of your ability is where I like to live. And that's the only way to continually get better and to become a better person. So for me, I'm always searching for, you know, kind of for that uncomfortable zone that kind of pushes myself, and really being far away from football, and, you know, sitting there on a sailboat having a lot of internal thoughts to myself. You know, the one itch that I couldn't scratch was, you know, not ending it with the ability to go for a championship, and then not ending it in a place where it all started. You know, I mean, I never wanted to leave this building. And really, for me, it's also, you know, rebuilding those bridges that were burned, you know, 8 to 9 years ago, and, you know, making sure that I can leave, you know, this game, understanding that I gave it everything that I have, to the people that got me here, to the people that made me a man, and you know, to leave satisfied.
Hell yeah. You're a deep thinker. You do ayahuasca and all that stuff? Because you did say third dimension. We ever been to ninth? You trying to get to ninth?
No, I haven't tried it yet. Aaron keeps getting me to try it, but you know, I gotta figure out when I'm gonna do one of those trips with him.
You flying your ass down to the jungle.
That'd be sick.
All right, I need that toad thing you guys got, and that T stuff you got. I need to get to 9 or 10 dimension. If we could figure that out, that'd be fantastic. I'd like to hear your take on that afterwards, because of how deep of a thinker you seem to be and have kind of enacted. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Jimmy, speaking of Derek Carr earlier, you were talking about, you know, his player and how he is as a person and everything, but one of the people they've brought in to actually help Derek with the offense, or at least kind of get a full grasp on it, was John Gruden. Have you been working with John at all, or is he kind of strictly with the quarterbacks? And then does it seem as though he's helped Derek kind of get back to being a great quarterback?
Yeah, you know, my my relationship with John Gruden goes back to my rookie year. You know, I remember, you know, he had come in to to kind of meet with the offense, meet with Sean. You know, he was a big mentor of his, and you know, I remember he called me like a baby deer or something like that, or like runs like a deer or something like that. So, you know, he's always kind of had my ear and you know, always helped me out a little bit. But when it comes
baby deer,
to
much different than a full-grown deer, right?
Yeah.
Baby deer was a shot. Adult deer is like John Deere, like track.
Oh yeah. That thing moves.
He said like a John Deere, like you run good, like a deer. You
basically.
Not a baby deer. Like, this guy no coordination. Baby draft, baby deer. And then he sent an email about it.
Yep.
Saved it.
But honestly, not only just Derek, he's really helped out the offense. I mean, he kind of came here and his last day, he met with the team and he gave one of the best speeches I've ever heard in my life. You know, just challenging everybody. You know, just challenging our young guys. You know, when he gets up, you know, everybody listens. That's for sure. You know, he has a presence about him. You know, obviously he's been in the game a long time, and he understands a lot about this game, and he still has this incredible passion for it. So, you know, to sit there and you know, to hear him, you know, tell everybody to knock on wood, and you know, him going through his sayings is truly.
Did you knock on wood when he asked? Did you say knock on wood, or whether you're like hell yeah?
Yeah.
You kind of have to. I mean, you kind of have to. You like basically have no choice. It's just a part of it. You know, when you're around him, man, he's a captivating figure, and you know everything he does and says, man, it just you know, you can't help but be in a moment. So
Speaking of captivating, go ahead, AJ.
Your old coach Sean Payton, he's in Denver now. We just heard he came out and it sounds like he's trying to clean some stuff up, like no Gilligan hats, as he called them, on the sidelines for starters that come out. Can't take your jersey off. All these like little things that all equal big things, I think. Is that something that you noticed when you were there in New Orleans with him? We've heard like Peyton comes from that Bill Parcells tree. So like I've heard it's attention to detail. You guys are practicing hard and like he's not messing around. Are you confident that he's going to get things going in the right direction out there?
Yeah, I mean he's a tough coach. He's very, very old school. He's a guy who really pushes you to your limits. Not only physically but mentally. He's a guy that's always going to challenge you. He challenges me young each and every day. I mean, I think I got probably 3 compliments from him while I was here. He was always pushing me to be better. He was always pushing me to be the best version of myself. And he definitely is old school, just like from that whole regime. I think nowadays it definitely pays dividends in these games, because that's what it's about. These games come down to literally the last drive of the game. It comes down to who can't make, like, who has the less mistakes, who can't turn the ball over. More teams beat themselves than they actually get beat by the other team. So I mean, I think he's gonna come in and do a lot. And obviously he's there with Russ, so I've been there with both of them. And it'll be certainly entertaining to see them get on the same page and for Russ to learn this offense. It's like I said, it's a very dynamic offense, and I'm looking forward to seeing how well they work together.
Hey, did they call you? Any other teams call you throughout this entire time? I know you said you're only going to play for the Saints, but that one with Sean Payton there and Russ there, yeah. If you're getting back in, seems like a natural kind of fit. Did anybody else call you, or was it only Saints in your mind that you were only having a conversation?
With Denver, no, nobody called me. Me and Sean still haven't talked since the trade, so it's we're still waiting to kind of have that conversation.
Did you say in the middle of that answer he gave you 3 compliments through the entire time he was there?
Oh yeah, but that's just Sean. No. Sean, like,
yeah, he said
that is the thing.
We were very close while I was here. He just he's a type that for me he was like a father figure while I was here. He was it was definitely tough love. Like he always challenged me. So when we replaced somebody, he would always make sure that I knew that somebody was talking shit about me in the media and that I needed to go prove myself. I mean, he understands how to push the right buttons, and he certainly always pushed my buttons and always made me just fired up to work harder and to play better. That's just the type of guy he is. He really understands how guys internally work and how to get the best out of his players. He really does.
Well, let's hope you two, have a conversation.
Yeah. Bear the hat.
Take him up in the plane, up in the chopper. Shake some hands.
Flip him over, make him throw up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Put him through the ringer.
Great to see you. How about 4 compliments maybe over a fucking,
Huh?
You know what I mean? That would
Still want to trade me?
I'm excited to see you and hear about your first conversation. I assume that's going to happen. I think this will probably make its way to him, and somebody will say to him, why don't you?
Let's make that right.
We should make that right.
Only 2.
Hopefully that'll happen. I assume you'd be open to that, right?
Yeah. I mean, he created me on the field, man, and we shared a lot of wins and a lot of moments, man. I'm always here and I'm always open for it, man. He's he had a big influence on my life, my career, and there's no reason I would never.
Let's go shake their hands.
Yeah, that's right.
Last question here from Pac-Man Jones, Jimmy.
Last question. Y'all took the running back from TCU, Miller. I think he was 71 pick. Have you seen any flashes out of any of the young guys that's there now?
Yeah, I mean,
Kendrick?
our running back position is talented. I mean, we have everything you could ever want. I think the biggest thing is obviously, the biggest difference between college and pros is being able to pick up blitzes. Like as everybody here knows, dogs and blitzes are some of the hardest thing for that transition. So the way that they're going to make it on the field quicker is to not be that one-dimensional player and to be able to pick up and to be able to understand these checks so that we can keep the quarterback clean and we can get the ball down the field. But I mean, a New Orleans training camp isn't like most training camps. It's extremely physical, and all these guys have been downhill. All these young kids have been looking really good. I think he had a one-handed catch the other day, and so he's looking promising, man, and really looking forward to seeing what we do out of the backfield, because this offense truly has a well-rounded attack. We have talent everywhere, and I'm just excited to get on the field with the guys.
We can't wait to watch it, buddy. We're very thankful you took time out of your day to join us, too.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have a relationship with the Saints at all, I don't think.
No, not really.
We Who was old cuz? Defense came on a couple times.
Mario Davis.
Mario came on a few times. That was awesome. Hasn't been on a bit.
Lutz.
Will Lutz came in 1L
Yep.
in Will's
Cam
name.
Jordan.
Jordan just signed a new
Ricky
deal.
Williams was just on.
Wow.
I don't think that was through the Saints. So we're very thankful that you joined us. And shout out to the Saints PR people for making this happen. Obviously, the fleur de lis right behind you looks beautiful. And we can't wait to watch you back on the field. We're lucky you're back in the NFL. We appreciate you, Jimmy.
Yeah, man. Also, congratulations on ESPN.
Thanks.
Wow. Thanks. I mean, unbelievable. Obviously, you guys deserve it. It's a special thing, you guys are changing, you guys are changing the game.
Jimmy, stop. I don't want to hear it. Shut up.
Really?
Get back to football.
No, man. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to see, man. So I'm looking forward to being on more and more over the next year.
Oh, you're going to join us during the season?
Of course. Have to.
Let's go.
Hell yeah, dude.
Let's go.
We appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen. What are your thoughts on funnel cakes in
Beignets.
beignets down there? What are your thoughts on the beignets?
I mean, beignets are amazing, but I don't eat fried food or sugar, so I can't do it. I can't do it.
Superhero.
I thank God there's like people like you out there.
Yeah, need him.
I would, though.
I'm sure eating candy all day.
You do, yeah. Yeah, you're a fat ass, though. This dude ran a 4.51 last week, dude. Right here, eating candy every single day. Unbelievable.
He's built different. That's why. Trust me, I played him plenty of times, bro. He's built different. Nobody's got him. Nobody's got his mindset, bro.
Pac taking any cheap shots on you or anything? Talking shit? He talking shit to you a little bit?
Him? Every time I played him. That dude hit me late or low almost every time I caught the ball. I don't know how many times we talk shit towards each other, but I'm sure I said some stuff to him. We both hate each other when we play.
You better get your big ass down. That's what you better do before you come over here, because I'm going to hit your ass low every time.
Well, I'm happy you guys have made amends, and you and John Gruden are going to do the same. Ladies and gentlemen, the most interesting man on earth, Jimmy Graham. Thank you.